The North Dakota Supreme Court will allow eviction hearings to proceed with residents concerned that they may be forced out of their homes. Do you feel it might be time to sign an executive order prohibiting landlords from evicting residents?
Uh, April, the answer to that is no. And the reason why is because I think as we've seen all of these dollars flow into the economy, if people who've been laid off and have qualified for unemployment are actually making, in some cases, we've got verified situations where people are making more on unemployment than they were making when they're working. We've got all kinds of the federal stimulus money. We've now got the Bank of North Dakota programs. Talking to folks that are in the business of owning property, is that they saw a very small drop off of people not paying their rent back on April 1st, and there's been even more dollars put into the economy since now. And again, eviction notices don't mean eviction, they just mean they're the beginning of a process. I would again encourage anybody who's received an eviction notice, your first thing you might do is call the person that owns your property and talk to them versus calling a lawyer, because there's many possible ways to work through this. And I would expect to see that with this amount of capital injected in the economy, that the number of evictions and the number of people that can't pay their rent is actually quite low. And then of course we do, for those people that are really struggling at the bottom end of the rungs and may have not fit a program, that's why we announced some of the programs that we had relative to the shelter programs and other, because we want to keep people in homes versus having them move into congregate environment with homelessness. And so a lot of services that are out there, but I think again banning and getting involved in legal processes, can disrupt markets, and there has to be a way today. I mean, if you've got someone who's damaging property, if you've got someone who's running illegal activity, I would say the people that own property also have rights, and they have to have access to due process themselves. And so I think, again, I trust our courts and their judgment, and I would hope that we could move forward and see very little of this. I know there was a lot of fear a month ago that there was going to be mass evictions. I don't think you're going to see that. There's fewer people looking for apartments right now than there were a month ago. Anybody that we talk to that's in the business of renting units wants to keep the people in those units, not move them out. So again, I would say it's a renter's market right now, and so in terms of how market forces will actually support those people that may be stressed.